Al-Mu'minin, chapter of the believers. In the name of Allah, the merciful, the compassionate, fortunate are the believers, those who in their prayer are humble, those who from vain talk turn away, those who for the zakat are active, those who their private parts do guard, except in regard to their spouses and what their right hands possess, for they are not to be blamed. But if anyone go beyond that in their desires, they are the transgressors. Those who their pledges and their covenant do tend, those who of their prayers are observant, these are the inheritors who shall inherit paradise in which to abide. We have created man of an extract of clay, then we made him a drop in a receptacle sure, then we created the drop a clot, then we created the clot a morsel, then we created the morsel bones, and we clothed the bones with flesh, then we produced him another creature. Blessed be Allah, the best of creators. Then after that ye die, then on the resurrection day ye are raised again. We have created above you 7 cycles, nor were we of the creation neglectful. We sent down from the heaven water in measure and caused it to settle in the earth, and surely to take it away we are able. And we produced thereby for you gardens of palms and vines, in which for you are fruits a many, and from which ye eat, and a tree which cometh out from Mount Sinai, which bears oil and a sauce for the eaters. Lo, in the cattle too is for you a lesson of what is in their bellies. We give you to drink, and in them for you are advantages a many, and of them do ye eat. Upon them and upon the ship are ye carried. We sent Noah to his people, and he said, O my people, serve Allah, there is no God for you but he. Will ye not then show piety? But the nobility, those of his people who disbelieved, said, this is only a man like yourselves, who wishes to gain preeminence over you. If Allah had willed, he would have sent angels. We never heard of this among our fathers of old. He is only a man possessed. Wait and see what befalls him for a time. He said, O my Lord, help me because of the falsehood with which they charge me. So we suggested to him, make the ship under our eye, and according to our suggestion, then when our affair comes and the oven boils, make way into it for 2 of every kind, and thy household except him upon whom sentence has already been passed. Speak not to me in regard to those who have done wrong. Verily they are to be drowned. Then when thou and those with thee stand firm on the ship, say, praise be to Allah who hath delivered us from the wrongdoing people. Say, O my Lord, settle me in a blessed settlement, for thou art the best of those who give settlements. Verily in that are signs. Verily we have been afflictors of men. Then after them we produced another generation, and we sent amongst them a messenger. One of themselves, serve Allah, there is no God for you but he. Will ye then not show piety, but the nobility of his people, those who had disbelieved and counted false the meeting of the hereafter, and whom we had given luxury in this nearer life, said, this is only a man like yourselves, eating what ye eat, and of drinking what ye drink. If ye obey a human being like yourselves, surely in that case ye will be losers. Does he promise you that when ye have died and become dust and bones, ye are to be brought out of the grave, away with what you were promised? But there is nothing but this present life of ours. We die and we live, but we are not going to be raised again. He is only a man who has devised falsehood about Allah. We in him are not believers. He said, O my Lord, help me because of the falsehood with which they charge me. He said, in a little they will become regretful. Then the shout took them in truth, and we made them rubbish. So away with the wrongdoing people. Then we produced after them other generations. No community anticipates its term or stays behind. Then we sent our messengers one after another. Whenever its messenger came to a community, they counted him false. So we caused them to follow each other and made them stories away with the people who not believe. We sent Moses and his brother Aaron with our signs and clear authority to Pharaoh and his nobility, but they thought themselves great and were a high people. They said, shall we believe 2 human beings like ourselves, whose people to us are slaves? So they counted them false and were among those who were destroyed. We gave Moses the book in the hope that they would be guided, and we appointed the son of Mary and his mother to be a sign, and we made them repair to a height with a secure abode and a spring. O ye messengers, eat of the good things and do righteously. Verily I, of what ye do, am aware. Lo, this community of yours is one community, and I am your Lord, so shall piety towards me. But they cut their affair to pieces amongst them in the matter of scriptures, each sect what is with them rejoicing. Leave them then in their confusion for a time. Do they think that their wealth and children with which they enlarge them, hastening in their behalf, are among the good things? Nay, they do not perceive. Verily those who on account of the fear of their Lord are anxious, those who in the signs of their Lord do believe, those who with their Lord join no partner, those who give what they give with hearts filled with awe, that to their Lord they are to return. These are hastening to the good things, and they to them come first. We task not any person beyond his capacity, and with us is a book which uttereth the truth. They will not be wrong, nay, but their hearts are in confusion in regard to this, and they have works short of that which they continue doing, until when we take hold of their affluent ones with the punishment, they are lowing like cattle. Lo, not today, for from us ye will receive no help. My signs were recited to you, and upon your heels did ye turn back? Did you draw back? Acting proudly towards it, shunning one who held knightly discourse? Did they then not consider what was said? Or did there come to them what did not come to their fathers of old? Or did they not recognize their messenger, and so of him disapproved? Or do they say he is possessed? Nay, he came to them with the truth, but most of them to the truth are averse. If the truth had followed their desires, the heavens and the earth and those in them would have been corrupted. Nay, we came to them with the reminder, but from their reminder they were turning away. Or dost thou ask revenue of them? The revenue of thy Lord is better. He is the best of providers. Verily thou art calling them to a straight path, and verily those who do not believe in the hereafter from the path are deviating. If we were to have compassion on them and lift them away from hurt that affects them, they would persist in their arrogance, blindly wandering. We formerly took hold of them with the punishment, but they did not humble themselves to their Lord, nor were they of lowly mind, until when we opened upon them a door of severe punishment, there they are in despair about it. He it is who hath produced for you hearing and sight and understanding. Little thanks ye give. He it is who hath sown you broadcast in the earth, and to him ye will be gathered. He it is who gives life and death. His also is the alternation of night and day. Will ye not then be intelligent? Nay, they said just what those of old did say. They said, what, when we have died and become dust and bones, shall we be raised up? We and our fathers have been promised this aforetime. This is nothing but old world tales. Say, to whom belong the earth and those in it? If ye have any knowledge, they will say to Allah. Say, will ye not then bethink yourselves? Say, who is Lord of the 7 heavens and Lord of the mighty throne? They will say to Allah. Say, will ye not then show piety? Say, in whose hand is the kingdom over everything, giving protection and seeking none? If ye have any knowledge, they will say to Allah. Say, how are ye then enchanted? Nay, we brought them the truth, but they are speaking falsely. Allah hath not taken to himself any offspring, nor was there along with him any other God. In that case, each God would have gone off with what he had created, and would have gone up against the other. Glory be to Allah, away from what they chatter. He who knoweth the unseen and what is publicly proclaimed, so exalted be he, away from what they associate with him. Say, O my Lord, if thou causest me to see what they are threatened with, O my Lord, place me not with the wrongdoing people. verily to cause thee to see what we threaten them with. We are certainly able, repel the evil with what is better. We know well what they chatter, and say, O my Lord, I take refuge with thee from the incitements of the Satans, and I take refuge with thee, O my Lord, from their being present with me, until when death comes to one of them, he says, O my Lord, send me back. Perhaps I shall act uprightly in that which I have omitted. Nay, it is only a word which he is saying behind them as a barrier until the day when they will be raised up, when the trumpet shall be blown. There will be no claims of lineage amongst them that day, nor will they question each other. Those whose balances are heavy, they are the ones who prosper. Those whose balances are light, they are the ones who lose themselves in Gehenna abiding. The fire will scorch their faces. They in it, meanwhile, gurning. Were not my signs recited to you, and did ye not count them false? They said, O our Lord, wretchedness prevailed over us, and we were a people in error. O our Lord, bring us out of it then. If we do it again, we shall be wrongdoers. He said, slink away into it and speak not to me. There was a part of my servants who said, O our Lord, we have believed, so forgive us and have compassion upon us. Thou art the best of those who have compassion. But ye so took them as the butt of ridicule, that they made you forget my remembrance, and ye at them were laughing. See, I have recompensed them today for what they have endured by their being triumphant. He said, how long have ye remained in the earth? In number of years. They said, we have remained a day or part of a day. Ask those who keep count. He said, ye have only remained a little while. If only ye had known. Do ye think that perhaps we created you for fun, and that to us ye would not be made to return? So exalted be Allah, the true King, there is no God but He, Lord of the noble throne. Whosoever, along with the law, calls upon another God of whom he has no proof, his reckoning is with his Lord. Prosper will not the unbelievers say, O my Lord, forgive and have compassion. Thou art the best of those that have compassion. And, you know, any of these, O our Lord, and any of these supplications said in the Quran that are proper ones to say, not the one that you could say was granted and put Joseph into prison, but you know the other ones. Any of them can be said in the prayer. But between the prostrations, some will say that last verse there. And just like the Quran doesn't say that Iblis or any of the other jinn were the Malaika. They were angels, sure, but that's not the Arabic word. Angels quite ambiguous. But they were jinn. They were always jinn. They didn't become jinn. They, you know, so that there's that there. And so in this chapter, we have that mention of, you know, you guard your private parts. Well, you can have sex with your spouse, and your attendants, your doctors, or whatever, they, as necessary, they can, you know, there's no fault in them seeing your private parts. It doesn't say that you can have, you know, affairs with your servants or your doctors or anything like that. And other passages make that clear, is that you don't just have random sex with slaves or anybody else. But some people like to claim that. They take things out of context and they don't realize, okay, for this group and this other group, so it's separate. The, you know, the greatest access to the spouses, just like the passages about modesty elsewhere.